Hi, my name's Dwyer. I'm a citizen who lives in San Jose, California, and I'm very concerned about the economy, and I just wanted to share some thoughts with some other people who might be concerned. In 1955, the ratio of debt to personal disposable income was roughly 55%. By the mid 1980s, about a quarter century later, that ratio had risen to 65%. By 2007, the ratio of debt to personal disposable income had risen to 833%. In other words, the debt that we now have in the United States dwarfs anything that we had going back to the FDR administration. And so that's very important to remember when we hear talk about stimulus packages and Keynesian economics. The situation is different this time. Stimulus packages might not work. Keynesian economics simply might not work in this environment. Let me point out that here in California, according to Governor Schwarzenegger, his own numbers, over the next 13 months, California is going to have a deficit in excess of $21 billion. Unemployment here continues to increase. The official unemployment rate of Los Angeles County, one of the most populated counties in the entire country, right now is more than 12%. In the state, the official unemployment rate right now for the most populated state in the United States is more than 10%. And so we're dealing with a very tragic situation for which there is no fix. Let me also point out, too, that for those who believe that we're on the cusp of a turnaround in California real estate, and I understand that all real estate is local, just understand that the cost of a home is a function of the rental price of that home. In other words, home prices should increase when rental prices in an area are increasing. Likewise, home prices should decrease when rental prices in the area are decreasing. Right now in California, rents are dropping like a rock. People are losing their jobs. They're cutting back. Even those with jobs are deleveraging. In other words, they're finding ways to pay down the huge debt burden that I just discussed earlier. And they're not going deeper into debt to buy a new home. The change in our automotive industry is structural as well. And it is as if the bureaucrats and career politicians in Washington don't seem to realize that whether or not we pump $7 billion of your money, public money, into GMAC, it's simply not going to jumpstart our automotive industry because the consumer is too heavily in debt, and people now realize that they need to increase their personal savings out of necessity. Let me also point out, too, that there is a ceiling on the amount of debt that one can have. I'm sure many viewers of this video right now are having problems servicing the debt they already have. Once you reach a point where you can no longer service the debt that you have, then you're unable to take on more debt. Both lenders and neighbors will discourage you from taking on more debt because, of course, the lender will see your debt portfolio and the lender will realize that you're a bad credit risk. And, of course, in a household, once you have a problem paying down your debt, than other expenses that you might have in mind. Your kid's education, the light bill, things like that, will start to be negatively impacted. So, California real estate, in a nutshell, is not coming back anytime soon. The automotive industry, in a nutshell, is not coming back anytime soon. Understand that there are several car makers globally, and the low-cost providers, companies like Toyota, Honda, they're all having problems. So whether we pay $7 billion to GMAC or not, um, Chrysler and GM are not magically overnight going to morph into a company as lean as a Toyota. And even if they did, they would be suffering huge losses as Toyota is suffering right now. And so it's my hope that the American people will get tired of paying billions of dollars in stimulus money for nothing. The only solution that will work, quite frankly, is one where we deleverage, where we cut down on the debt, where we get a handle on debt that was 133% of our personal disposable income as recently as 2007. We need to get that debt back down to historical levels, the kind of levels that we had in the 1980s during a bull market and in the early 1960s. Let me know what you think. Leave comments here on YouTube. Also, please feel free to stop by and visit us at keepingitfree.blogspot.com, as well as at cashupdate.info and stockoption777.blogspot.com. I believe that we need for other citizens to talk among each other, because the stuff coming out of Washington right now, quite frankly, is disconnected from reality. We've already spent billions of dollars trying to keep Chrysler from filing for bankruptcy, and they did. We're spending billions of dollars trying to prop up GM at a time when automotive sales are down worldwide, and now we're foolishly on the verge of spending billions of dollars to try to prop up GMAC. And we're doing all of this at a time when very important vital states to our economy, like California, have deficits that are exceeding $20 billion. You have got to be kidding me. Let's hope that there's a movement, or at least a recognition, that spending more money in Washington, doing more quantitative easing, isn't the answer. It certainly didn't work for Japan. I would encourage everyone to take a look online at the recent economic news from Japan. It is an eye-opener, and keep in mind, Japan's lost decade was literally a 15-year period where Japan was trying one stimulus after another. It's possible that in a heavily leveraged era, Keynesian economics, stimuluses don't work. Let me also point out, too, that as Merrill Lynch was floundering, as many of these banks were floundering, our government gave a stimulus to Merrill Lynch, and we now realize that when you have a deteriorating loan portfolio, the banks don't use that money to lend to borrowers. They have to lose that money to make up for the money they are losing on mortgages and credit derivatives. And so we need to ask the bottom line question of whether we're better off spending more, or whether we're better off spending less and being taxed less. We'll pick this up in a future video. Thanks for watching.